Good morning, good morning, good morning. Woo! Okay, so it is Tuesday morning and I want to peek about it. I am now on my YouTube channel, not going YouTube live. I'll be doing more and more of these. This is my 10-minute talk about it segment, and this month is all about mental health awareness. So as you all know, that my journey to becoming mentally strong, mentally whole, heal the mental mind has been one of intention. That's the big word, intentional. Paying more attention to my thoughts, paying more attention to the brokenness, paying more attention to desiring to be healed, and to the level that I'm willing to put in the work to get to where I need to be, to where I can be mentally strong again. All from the death of my son, but probably what I've learned on this journey the last 2.5 years, because you all know my story, Demetrius Thomas, and I share to inspire, encourage. I love to bring awareness to things. For many years, it was all about health and fitness, and my whole world has been expanded through the loss of my son. After the loss of my son, been in a very unhealthy connection, and being connected to not just that person, but people that they were connected to, and really just took me on a journey to understanding mindsets of people and my own mindset. So I'm here to share with you. A lot of what I'm sharing with you is strictly connected to the grief, which, as you all know, it's more than just grief of loss of my son. There's so many ways we grieve. There's so much pain that's been unprocessed, unhealed, and what we do is hurting people hurt people. So that's why I went on such a journey. Really, I want to say, I can't say directly after the death of my son because I was majorly distracted, but definitely in 2021, I really went on spiritual journey after spiritual journey. I really did some things, and purposely, intentionally, that got me to the space. And will I say that I'm completely whole? No, but I will say that I am on a journey, and through my intention, through some things that I do daily, through some things that I do it purposefully, I've gotten to this space. And the space that I reside in is just the space of just finding who I am again, but not just who I am again, but finding a better aspect of who I am. But finding a better person, finding the strength and the desire to not just go on, but to continue to reach the peak of some mountains, to come from out of the valleys. And not only that, on this journey, and I'm sharing this with you because it's not just one valley. It's not just one mountain, and it's not just one peak. It's constant, daily. There's peaks, there's mountains, and there could be valleys daily, but there could be mountains to climb daily. There could be peaks to reach daily. And I'm learning that on this journey. So to be able to be in this space, to just even not just desire, and I wrote that this morning on my Facebook post, that it's so powerful to reside in God's peace, but not just to get to that peaceful place, but to stay there. And that starts, really, everything you do starts with a mindset. Strong mind, strong body, strong life. Seriously. So this is just one aspect that I'm willing to be a little bit more authentic about my journey, and it's dealing with the mind. Just so happened that it's May, and it's the mental health awareness month. And one thing I posted last night I want to share really quick, because I'm looking at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So, and it's supposed to be really 10 minutes. And I would like to go every day, if not every day, every other day, no more than 2 days missing. But right now I'm on a roll, 2 for 2. So Mental Health Awareness Month, and you all know that I had to end up seeking a therapist. I seek counseling. And to this day, I'm still connected to 2 major, amazing people in my life that I don't really have to go and make appointments as much, but I have to make phone calls. I do reach out, they've opened up their whole life to me to get me to this place and this space. And I always say, can I just post? Can I share more? And they're like, no, for right now, just, let's just reside right here with you. Let us stay on this journey with you. And in the future, we're going to do some things together, and I'm excited about that because they really have taken a place in my life to get me right where I'm at. So this 10-minute talk about it, and I'm already 5 minutes in. I want to share with you what I've gotten out of some just the experience, the whole brokenness, just brokenness after brokenness after brokenness after brokenness, and being able to say, you know what? This is not okay. I should not be thinking like this. So I will tell you, the tears didn't get me here. I would tell you the nights of the regurgitation didn't get me here. The screaming, the yelling didn't get me here. Not praying didn't get me here. Not studying my scriptures didn't get me here. Not caring about life. I'm telling you, my mind got me to this place because I knew that the mind that I began to think, and the things that I began to think about, and the way I began to think, I knew that was not okay for me. and for me to reside there. So I will say this on the journey, what I'm learning is, and it's so powerful to me, because I'm learning that mental illness and mental health, and I already know this, but just to break it down so you can understand it, mental illness and mental health, they are two different things. It's a taboo subject. We don't want to talk about it. People hide it. And it's funny because I was listening. One of my coaches told me to go look at this segment, go look at this TED Talk. And the one lady said that all of her life, the mental therapist that was sharing her story, all of her life, she started out with saying, my parents told me, the more you cry, the less you urinate. The more you cry, the less you urinate. Like it was not okay to cry. So a lot of things that I'm learning, that it gets me to understanding the hearts and minds of not just myself, but but people around me. The things that we've been taught as people, as culture, environmental, even some things genetically that are passed down through our mindset, it's going to blow you away. Once you're intentional about the journey to healing your mind, because just because I don't have a diagnosis, now this is what was so powerful for me. Just because we're not diagnosed with a mental illness does not mean we're mentally healthy. See, this is what's taboo. Just because we're not diagnosed with mental illnesses does not mean that we're mentally healthy. So what happens to me is, I learned in February of 2021 to about March 2021, in about 31 days, I learned just how unhealthy I was mentally. Not an illness, but unhealthy mentally, which is two different segments. But if you don't deal with, now this is what's the catcher. If you don't deal with the unhealthy part of your mental status, it turns right over into possibly a mental illness, diagnosed mental illness. Like, I'm learning that. And I think that's what I was feeling when I said, oh my God, I've got to fix this. I got to do something about this. This is not me. I don't think like this. I'm hurting so severe. I'm hurting, and I'm not playing the victim. I'm giving you my authentic testimony. I'm being very transparent right now. I knew that was not what I was called to be. I knew, just like when I knew that when I was 370 pounds, a size 28, and I couldn't breathe walking across the campus, when I co-taught in the middle school and I could not walk without leaning against the wall. My back was hurting. I was panting. I had no major diagnosis, but I knew that I was a ticking time bomb when I was overweight, when I was obese. That was my first journey to doing what I do like now, sharing with people. So it's the same thing with my mental health. I knew in February when the rug was snatched and I was looking at all these people, and as time went by, more people that I could see was connected to this lifestyle, to getting me to a very broken space and place. And we'll talk about all that later in the month. I'm telling you, I knew that I had to fix some things. So I was very mentally unhealthy. And to get to a space and a place where I had to deal with that and to work and fix that, I had to be intentional. I had to really be intentional about my mental health. So if you don't know anything else, just know you don't have to have a major diagnosis. You don't even have to be diagnosed for your mental status to be unhealthy. Same way with your physical, same with the emotional and the spiritual. We are walking around mentally unhealthy that could already or have been or very close to ticking time bomb, being diagnosed with a mental illness. And this is what made me scratch my head and say for myself, I didn't say for nobody else, I better do something about this. I should not be thinking like this. I should not be vibing this low. I should not be having to fight these kind of spirits. I should not have to. Yes. So I had to put in work to get to this space. And it's been over a year. It's May. And I can now see, and I told y'all back in February, it's amazing to me. And in April, I'm saying February and March, it's amazing to me what is transformed in over a year of being intentional. And it's now manifesting. It's now coming to full fold. It's now coming through and oozing because I put in the work. And it took me that long because that's how broken, that's how hurt I was. So mental health, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, is you need to understand mental health and mental illness are two different things. But later on tonight, whenever I finally go live, I'll tap into some things that I've learned and how we get to a space and some of the differences of mental illnesses and some of the diagnosis and some of the things that mentally, when we're unhealthy, that if we don't fix it, we bounce right on over into mental illnesses, that we need help from the professionals. We need prescriptions. And I get that because, like I said, whenever I was traveling down that journey from a lot of brokenness, and I can see that I was in a danger zone, that I need to fix my mind, and that I can see, man, I get it now, how these people can think like this, how they have so many unprocessed, that's the big word, unprocessed hurts, unprocessed pain, pain after pain after pain, hurt after hurt after hurt, brokenness after brokenness, trauma after trauma. And I'm not saying from childhood. We're talking about adults. We're talking about grown folks, married, single, mamas and daddies and grandparents, and people who are raising families, and people who can put on a front and an air, and that can look the part, that can play the part, that walks the part, that appears to be whole and healthy. But when you get to know the other side of them, you're like, whoa. And when you get to realize what's going on in your life personally, when you get to realize that it is a real deal situation, when you get to realize that folks really do think like this, really they're unhealthy mentally. That's where I was. This is why I was able to put in the work. This is why my smile, I think, is so powerful to me. When I look at my pictures, the smile hasn't been forced. The smile is very authentic because it's coming from a space of a lot of work put in from a broken place, from a mentally unhealthy person, to seeing myself now, to seeing me, that let this mind be in you that is also in me. That's a scripture that's been coming to me all month. It's only been day 3. Let this mind be in me. But if the mind is not in you, how can you exercise that? If you don't have anything going into your mental, if you're not taking time to sit with yourself and to be real with yourself, what's going on within yourself, then therefore you can never heal that. Because if you don't want to face it, if you don't want to be open and honest about it, you can never heal a thing that you're not ready to face. You can never fix a thing that you're not ready to face. When you can look at the mirror and say, it's me. Let me work on this because I know this is not okay. Hurting people do hurt people. We have generations of things that have been passed along from people not really understanding that they've never fixed the hurt. So this is why I'm so excited about this journey. I'm so excited about being able to share. And when I go live, I'll be able to give you a little bit more. It's 12 minutes in. Got to be obedient. I hope y'all have an amazing, amazing Tuesday. Love, peace, and happiness. Let's speak about it. Mental Health Awareness Month. Are you unhealthy? Do you need to get whole? Do you need to become healed? So you don't have to have a diagnosis into an illness. Praying for all those that have really been diagnosed. Praying for the families, because this is a journey that I can only imagine. And I encourage you all to do the work. Break the cycles. Break the curses. Break them. There's power within you to do so. Have an amazing Tuesday.